How's it going, everybody? Josh, KI6NAZ. Welcome back to the Ham Radio Crash Course. We're going to do the second part to my backpack video. If you remember from the first video I posted, I have a backpacking backpack, overnight backpack that I put my camping gear in, some ultralight stuff, and my radio equipment. This week, it's a different backpack. It's the backpack that I would take if I'm business traveling or traveling with the family, and I'm going to set up a station to play ham radio, but to also do my live stream. So I'm going to show you a lot of the equipment that I use when I'm out in the field, like out camping, outdoors. When I've got to drag the live stream equipment out, this is what I take. So hopefully for you ham radio people, you'll like it, and for some of you that are interested in doing outdoor portable live streaming, like I sometimes do, you'll find this interesting. All right, without further ado, let's check it out. And thanks again for clicking on that link to watch this video. If you found this helpful, interesting, and you think it should be in front of other people, make sure you click subscribe and give me that thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. Okay, now onto this bad boy. This is the Peak Design Traveler. This is the 45-liter travel bag. This is something you would use for business travel, going on longer trips. If you were a professional or semi-professional camera operator, you can get a lot of your gear in here. And this is a camera bag first and foremost, but I found that it works great for ham radio because everything's kind of modular as well, and it works within their little system. So let's go around the outside here. It has a little wallet pouch on the top, which I keep important things like Toroid. Always have an extra Toroid, an extra charger brick, some mints, and there's something else in here. Ah, yes, the Bluetooth dongle, the VS3 for the 705. This is just a convenience item. You don't need this, but I really like this. I still use this a lot for walking around the house or walking around camp while listening to the radio. Now, what's usually modular on both sides is what antennas I'm taking into the field. This would normally be on the backpacking backpack. This is my super cheap G-Way 7-meter fishing rod. I bought this off of eBay many years ago. It's 7 meters. I think I paid $12 shipped for this. So, you know, I don't know if they're still available that cheap, but if they are, just buy that. Next to that is the military mass section for, what do they call this? The CHA mill extension for the Chameleon M-Pass kit. The matching other top vertical piece for the M-Pass kit. These two are, well, I'll grab this first because it seems to be blocking the way. This is the Peak Design tripod, traveler tripod. This comes in carbon fiber that makes it even more expensive, but I just went with the aluminum. This is a fantastic travel tripod, although not light. This thing is muy heavy. But really, really effective. It has tons of little features on it that make it really usable in the field. It has the snap-on plate. It has a leveling head. It has a ball mount on the top for those of you that do video or just, you know, whatever, photography of any kind. This is a really cool tripod, and I'm glad I went with it. Everything Peak Design makes is really slick. They really understand their market. These are two 17-foot Chameleon whips. This goes with the Delta loop that I took on the trip. So we'll talk about this on the review video when I do the review of the Delta loop. You need these to make that work. Obviously, it's a big loop, so you need two arms to make it fan out. Anything else? Yes, of course, the spike. The spike that goes connects to the mini, well, actually, it connects to a piece of metal that fans out the legs of the Delta loop. And then this connects to the CHA Micro or CHA Mini. There's two main panels on this backpack. There's a front panel, which I have coax. I have my soda beams tri-band, and a host of pouches. I cannot tell you how many pouches I have. And I'll mention this since we're right here. It has a pouch on the front that I keep coax connectors, and this is a bit of Dyneema line. You never know when you need more line. This pouch is actually accessible from the front and the rear, which I'll show you the rear. It's actually a really interesting design as well. And then there's a front pouch here that you can keep more things. And then another pouch underneath that. Lots of pouches for however you want to organize. In here, though, starting with pouch number 1, this is the DC power meter. Muy importante if you're going to work with batteries in the field. Make sure you bring something like that. A simple MFJ 1160 6-way DC power connection for Anderson power poles. And of course your Ed Fong J pole for VHF, UHF. So I make sure to take that in the field. Those are modular though. This stays in the pouch there. I'm going to lay this down for a second. That is heavy, by the way. Okay, this bag is devoted to the power connection and interface, and extra bit of coax to go to the amplifier. So here is the keying device that goes from the 705 to the Shegu 125 amplifier, and all the associated cabling that goes with that, which is a lot of cabling. So that's why it lives in the box this way. Stays together, one pouch that keeps everything tidy and collected so that you don't have to second guess. The only thing I wish I did when I bought these pouches is not go with black, or bought myself a really, really nice white marker or something like that to write on. You can see I wrote on stream cables for this pouch, which I think this is power supplies. It is power supplies and HDMI cables. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of explaining. Here's a power supply. Here's another power supply. HDMI cable, power plugs. Okay, so when I'm running that camera, which you're just going to have to trust me on, the camera that I use for most of my shots, all my videos now, is a Sony a6400, a fantastic camera. I've talked about it in the past. When I'm going portable or I'm working out of a hotel room or somewhere where I'm going to live stream from, I will run a dummy battery into a power connector so I don't have to worry about swapping batteries out. It's a major pain in the butt to have to do that. There are two HDMI cables I bring. A standard HDMI cable that goes from my Toughbook, my Panasonic Toughbook, and the one that goes to the camera. So these all go in here. This controls all my non-webcam cameras that I deploy on the live stream. All right, that's the front pouch. Front pouch is out of the way. When I will mention though, let me zip this back up so that you can see it in all its glory. It starts to get a little frumpy if it's not full. So you can actually take this zipper here and you can tighten down the whole front body of it to give it a little bit tighter look. And that closes off the extensions that are in the front, which you can already tell it makes it a little bit, I don't know, nicer looking. You tell me. So this open top design is great, but let's say you had it on your shoulder and you had the main body closed, but you wanted to get into your gear from the side. There's a zipper right here that you can just go to the main body. Oh, there's my laptop, or one of my laptops. Boom, just pull it out immediately from that. So it gives you side access if you're on the go and you don't want to flip her over like this and get into the main body. But let's say you are. You get into the main body. The flap on the side here, the back flap, is a laptop case, which is where I keep my MacBook Pro M1, the 13-inch model. This is what I stream off of. This laptop is faster than any laptop I've owned and can live stream easily at 1080p. The only thing that keeps this from going as fast as it possibly can is the crazy, crazy slow networks that I'm often interfacing with when out in the field. So it tries its best, but it can't replace bad signals or, you know, just normal signals. I don't know. But I guess I'm a power user when it comes to that kind of stuff. Okay. I have to mention this too. Everything on this bag has a rail system. If you want to, Peak Design sells these modular cubes. This is the camera cube. And they have connections, locking clips all along the side, these little D-clips. And that allows you to be able to have things like a camera camera organizing bag with the standard Peak Design foldable inserts. These are very modular. You can do whatever you want with them. Inside this pouch, I have my charger for my batteries. This is a RAV Power charger. This is really nice because it accepts micro USB and USB Type-C, which is what everybody should be going to. These are nice. You can do 2 at a time for the Sony, which is exactly why I bought it. So when I'm in a hotel room, I have 3 or 4 batteries. I always have 2 that are charging and 1 that I'm working on and 1 ready to go in case I need to swap out. You do not know how frustrating it can be to be in a nice swing making videos and have to stop to charge batteries. So a Hansky micro and SD card holder. This is just cheapy off of Amazon. Waterproof. One of my other favorite things that I stumbled onto on the last trip that I took is a LumaCube. This was fantastic for that San Diego trip we did. LumaCubes put out really nice light, and it is adjustable with this side click. It gets really, really quite bright. And the nice thing about it is it has a readout here in the back that tells you exactly how long you can keep it at that power rating. So I was going to get 1 hour at 100%. If I lower it to 10%, I'll get a nice 7 hours of light off of this, which can work fine if you're doing, if you're doing like a live stream and you got to get a little close in like that. That works okay. Piece of coax. This is a coax UHF PL259 connector to BNC connector. This is for going straight from an antenna to the 705. And that's the reason it's there. Also on the side here is the tripod that I will take if it's a luxury situation and I'm bringing the studio along with me. I will absolutely bring this tripod. It makes interfacing the 705 that much easier. All right. White. This is also Dyneema. This is the other piece for the Delta Loop. This is the Chameleon Micro or Mini. I think it's the Micro. Notice the white color. I was told that this is something they're working on. I don't know if it's rolled out standard yet, so maybe I'm spoiling something. The white is to help it be more UV resistant. So same functionality as all the other devices, but white color to help for UV. Very cool. This is that bottom block that goes with the spike. The spike screws into the spike here. And then the 2 legs of the Delta Loop are right there. You could run something out of the center here, also modular. And then it can come out straight horizontal, which I don't know why you would use that yet, but who knows, maybe you would. So the 2 verticals come out of there, and then connecting between them, that's the radial, connecting between them is this clippy, this line with 2 clips on the side. So you just take your elements and string them all together and then clip these guys in and hook this little line over the ball end. And that's what you do to make your connection for the loop. So you've got 2 firm fixed pieces that make kind of a V, and then they're connected in the middle with this wire, which is pretty handy, and it's on a little roll-up, a little wire winder. Now, if you didn't want to use that, you just wanted to go vertical, well, here's the radial for that. And again, if you wanted to go vertical, you would just take out the D-link, screw this in directly, and then tune it up, because you do need a tuner for most of these antennas from Chameleon, at least that involve the Cha Micro. All right, solar panel. I have worked with this 25-watt solar panel with the 705 all weekend long with a 6 amp hour battery, and I didn't even really dip into the battery that far when I was operating at night. Of course, I didn't go to the wee hours, but you can run no problem 4 or 5+ hours without really taking much out of it. This is a great little panel. It's very lightweight for what it is, and along with it, I carry the Buddy Pull Power Mini. This thing's great. This thing is one of the coolest charge controllers. No, probably the coolest charge controller I've dealt with. USB port, battery port, solar panel port, and then 2 loads. So radio, and you could use this guy, plug into it, not like that exactly, have some kind of cable in between it. And then you can run things like the amplifier and other stuff as well. Charging cables that connect to a battery, if you were running a battery with twin leads, or whatever you're planning on doing with it. I leave extra wires in there for connecting to all kinds of different stuff. You never know when you're going to need to do that. And then at the bottom here, probably the last item, Panasonic Toughbook. This thing is, what can I say? Probably one of the best sub $500 computers I've purchased in years. This thing just is great. Not the fastest computer, and nor do I want it to be or need it to be the fastest when I'm just working with the 705 or really any computer with amateur radio. This is really all I need. It does have a rubber strap on the bottom so I can hold it like that. It is tablet, so you can straight up run it like that. And it has a stylus. Not much else to say about that. It is Windows 10. It has 4 gigs of RAM, although you can get them with 8 gigs, and it has an SSD, so it is quite fast. Okay, so I hinted at it earlier in the video that I brought some other accessory items. This is the Jackery 100 watt panel. I purchased this off of Amazon, as well as the cheapest Jackery they had. It has one AC 120 watt output, 110 volt, 2 USB ports. It's charged by solar input, 12 volt cigarette charger. This is really more of a keep the family happy daddy device that I always make sure I have with the solar panel if I don't know what the power is going to be like. Worst case scenario, I can take the charge controller, the buddy pull charge controller, and this isn't worst case scenario, this is more like best case scenario. I can connect this straight to it because the feed line input for this is Anderson's. So yeah, you got an Anderson's connector. You just need a long enough connection to wherever you're going into the buddy pole. The buddy pole also takes a power pole connector. Not necessarily Anderson's. People are already, Anderson's is a brand, power pole is the connector. You get what I mean. You go power pole to power pole into your charge controller, and voila, you've got 100 watts going into whatever battery you want to connect to. Speaking of batteries, the 2 batteries I brought were the Bioenno 12 volt 9 amp hour batteries, just the hard shell ones. I didn't bring my high speed, low drag, smaller ones. I have a 9 amp hour that's really nice. Didn't bring that. I just brought the simple 2 lead batteries that I picked up not too long ago. And so how I use these, I had one on the charger, one, charging off solar, and one connected to my amp here. Actually, one connected to the entire shack configuration of the 705 and all that other fun stuff. So the amp that I brought is the Shegu XPA 125B. The reason why I brought this is it has a tuner built in. That made connecting to the Delta loop, connecting to pretty much any antenna that I wanted to, really easy. This has a pretty good tuner built in. I believe it's upwards of 10 to 1. It says it's actually it says it's something like a 60 to 1 tuner, which is pretty good. So this is going to have a review in the future. I know people commented on the live stream that nobody can get these. Don't know why that is. I'm of 2 minds on this tuner / amplifier, but I was able to do about 65 watts on FT8 while I was running KA6 LMS for the Last Man Standing event, and it worked well. All of this stuff is super modular. Again, we started off with a backpack that you would throw on your back, carry out into the field, one-man show kind of thing. The portable studio, that I showed you next, that's like overkill for most people. It really is. This is like when I'm live streaming. It's not even when I just want to go shoot video. If I just wanted to do some video reviews, well, heck, I can carry my camera in this pouch and shove it into my backpack and just go on my way. If I needed to do a live stream, I've got to bring the second pouch or the second bag, and I can bring more antennas and other fun stuff to go along with that as well. And because I was car camping, I can bring things like the Jackery, keeps the family's equipment plugged and charged, so that's always good. The solar panel and the amp. So it's just layers of systems of things that you may need to solve very specific problems. So these are just some ideas. These are just what I use when I was in the field the last couple of times or on vacation, whatever it is I'm up to with the family. I like to cover all my bases. This, of course, is, again, way overkill and way too heavy. So you need to spec out your trip the best way that you know how, based off of the goals and the needs that you have and what you're trying to accomplish. I hope this was helpful. I get a lot of questions and comments on what I use for video making, and this is a whole lot of it. So I hope this is helpful. In the future, we're going to talk about what's behind me, which is my stream computer, and how I run my live streams, which is weekly. Hey, look at that tie-in. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and every other Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Ham Nation. Anyway, I am Josh, KI6NAZ. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, clicking that bell so I can send you a video every time I post one. I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.